ladies and gentlemen. You know, there's two topics over at a certain website that when I provide the links, you'll pretty much know where it's at. Basically, two topics on the Sonic fan base that, well, two individuals of this fan base have questions about. One fan actually still debates this topic, and the other wants to know what's so wrong about the other, about their topic. And what's funny is both of these kind of coincide with each other. The first topic is about Fiona Fox. Basically, this fan still debates and still argues and is obviously ticked off at Fiona being turned bad thanks to Ian Flynn. You see, and you see that they're not the only person that's upset about it. I've been dealing with it myself. I'm like, hey, if they want to make her a main villainess or whatever, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. But what's so funny about this is when I read this and when I think about it, what's so funny about it is someone posted a picture. I don't know if it was on DeviantArt or somewhere online. Well, basically, it's a panel from one of the Iron Dominion's, one of the Journey to the East Sonic Universe issues, one of the Journeys to the East arc in Sonic Universe, and you have members of the Suppression Squad, or the Destructives, if you will, standing alongside Tails, Monkey Kong, and Sally, and Sonic. And it's like, when you see Fiona standing right there next to them, and even if you want to take out, and even let's say you want to somehow edit out the other characters, you see Fiona standing there right next to them, it almost feels natural. It's like, this is what it's supposed to be like. This is how it's supposed to be. But, unfortunately, that never happened, and that is why this fan, along with several other fans, are not too thrilled about it still. It's like, what was the point? To make her a villainess? To give Scourge someone to be his Sally, if you will, to be his answer to Sally. What was the deal? Well, if you read the issue in which she kind of turned heel, if you will, went to Scourge's side, basically it's because she couldn't find that dark side or that bad boy side that she felt Sonic has and could bring out. So, apparently that's the reason. I also think, in a sense, in my opinion, I think it's in a sense, character-wise, I think it's more along the sense that she wanted a little bit more freedom to be able to do whatever she wanted. Let's not forget, I think in one of the issues, post 130, not post 134, but pre-134, post Tossed in Space, if you will. Fiona is is part of you have three separate teams. You have three separate teams divided. Because it's like a triple threat. Triple trouble, if you will. And Fiona has been teamed with Sonic and a few others. And basically, there's a point. I think she's teamed with Sonic and Rotor and a few others, like I said. And there's a point in one of the panels of that issue, of one of the issues, to where they go inside, I think, one of Eggman's bases, or whatever base it is, and she sees some weapons, and she's like, oh yeah, this will really help. And she picks up one of the guns, and she's like, oh yeah, this will really help out. And yet you have Rotor come in and says, no, that's not what we're about. We don't use weapons unless necessary. It's like basically saying, no, we're not really about using weapons. We only use them if necessary. We're not about using them right out or straight out to solve our problems. So, character-wise, if you want to think about it, from Ian Flynn's point of view, that character-wise, that's why he had to turn bad, because she, not only to be Scourge's answer to Sally, but to also kind of have that freedom that basically she was restricted in having as a freedom fighter. But honestly, I admit it did kind of come out of nowhere. Not saying that it did, in a sense. I mean, when you don't have her appear in many issues until at least about 172 or 171 or something like that, then you know something's up. Now, at first I'm thinking, oh, maybe they just dropped the character and that's it. No. Apparently Ian Flynn had plans to basically turn her heel, and her absence explained that. And basically when he started with Birthday Bash, which was his first story, you kind of got that sense that he had something planned for Fiona, and it wasn't going to be a very popular decision. But, here's the difference, though, between him and Ken Penders. Ken Penders obviously wanted to develop Fiona into a good character, into a redeemable character, when you think about it. A lot of fans, this fan, along with a few others, will agree that when she started out as part of the Freedom Fighters, she was more along the line of a C-list, B-list player. In other words, she was basically part of the team, but she wouldn't be focused on as much as she was later on. Unfortunately, that came around the time that Penders was let go. And then Ian Flynn took over, and the rest is history. Now, I don't know if Ian Flynn, again, like I said, I don't know if Ian Flynn, turned her bad because he wanted to have a new villainess around her, or at least have a rival for Sally to fight against besides her anti-Mobius counterpart, Alicia. But to me, it's more along the lines of, I think it's more along the lines that either Ian Flynn has something major planned for the character still, or he doesn't. And he just did this because he wanted to have another... I will say this. The one positive coming out of this, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, whether this person wants to admit it or not, is she's become more interesting. She's actually developed a bigger fan base now. And it's not just the newer generation, the newer fans, the Ian Flynn followers either. It's a lot of the long-established fans, those that were with the comic even before Ian Flynn came on board and became the head writer. So she's developed a fan base following with this new personality. But again, it's all depending exactly on what he does have planned, because I've always felt that he has something major planned for this character, to where she's going to go back to the side of good, go back to the Freedom Fighters or something like that, and try to redeem herself. Basically I think what Ken Penders was going to originally plan to do with her, and that's have her redeem herself as part of the team. Show that, hey, I'm no longer that thief, I'm no longer that treasure hunter, I am now a freedom fighter, I am now a good girl, I am now part of the team, I am here to do what's right and what's honorable. I think that's what Ken Penders wanted to do, didn't get a chance to do it. Ian Flynn came in, did what he did, and I think perhaps Ian Flynn plans to do something similar, if not the same, but we'll have to wait and find out, but that's just my personal opinion. But again, I am one of those that, practically looks at this this heel turn, that doesn't really make any sense, but then again, it did open up her character a lot more than it did before, I guess, in the eyes of Ian Flynn. So I guess it did make some sense, but not entirely. It's basically like in the eyes of this fan and some others, it's like, Ian Flynn didn't even give Fiona's character a chance to be a legitimate chance to be part of the Freedom Fighters. It's like, what was the point? And speaking of Fiona, again, how I mentioned at the beginning of this video how this kind of ties in with the other topic by another fan here. This other fan asked, what's so wrong with Sonic and Sally? With Sonally, as it's called. Sonic and Sally is a couple. Nothing, well, honestly, as a longtime fan, I don't see anything wrong. I've always said this, and I'm sticking true to it. Sonic and Sally is basically this comic book's answer to Superman, Lois Lane, or in the case of New 52, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man, Mary Jane, and Scott Summers, Jean Grey. This is their answer. This is their answer. Now, this one fan basically points out that there's a difference between Game Sonic and Comic Sonic. Game Sonic has basically been mandated to the point that he is not the kind of person that likes to be tied down with somebody. He's not the kind of person that really wants to have a girlfriend or doesn't need a girlfriend because pretty much from a game perspective, a game continuity perspective, the girlfriend, in this case Amy Rose, would always be tagging along 24/7. So basically, the difference between that Sonic and the comic Sonic is more along the lines of has a little bit more freedom to where he can have a girlfriend and he can date if he can have a girlfriend, he can date, but the one thing this person didn't point out, and I will point it out because it's been pointed out before, the one exception is it's a temporary deal. It can't be long term. It can't be like, oh, let's make them boyfriend and girlfriend for 100 issues. No. It's basically going to be like maybe 25 to at least half of that, to at least half of 100 at most. 25 maybe at least. Issues, that is. Now, again, I don't see anything wrong. Because like I said, I think their pairing is basically the Superman Wonder Woman pairing of the comic. That's how I look at it. And here's the thing though. Here's the thing why some fans don't like Sonic and Sally and favor Son and Amy over them. Here's why. It is the games. It is the fact that both are hedgehogs. And basically the fact that, it's a newer generation. A newer generation that never watched Sat AM, never really got into the comics until the games, like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. So they've always believed, because of those days, because of those games and later on, that Sonic and Amy are the better couple. Because yeah, they are hedgehogs. Yeah, it's official game. It's always officially shown in the games. So, and even probably officially shown in Sonic X and all that. But still, it's because of those situations that they feel Sonic should be with Amy more than anything. But here's the big difference between Game Amy and Comic Amy. Now, I don't know if they switched this around because of the soft retcon or soft reboot with Countdown to Chaos. We'll find out soon. But basically the difference between, as far as I know right now, the difference between Comic Amy and Game Amy is Comic Amy is still the same age as Tails. The only reason she looks the way she does is because she wished herself older on the Ring of Acorns. Game Amy is about the same age as Sonic, if not maybe a year or two younger. And is more featured as a fangirl. You see, the Comic Amy is more, to me, I think, if anybody would agree with this, is more tolerable, is more mature. Because yeah, even though mentally she's still the same age, as far as I know, as Tails, storyline-wise, as far as we know, still. 222 showed an example of maturity. She could have easily continued to, Ian Flynn could have easily had her get in Sonic's face like saying, "What are you doing with Sally? You should be dating me." No, it's more like, she said, "Go ahead, guys. Go have your date, have fun, whatever." And she even admitted to some of the individuals there in that in that panel. If being with Sally makes Sonic happy, then she's cool with it. Because she still believes in her heart that her and Sonic will be together, even if it's in fantasy. But the point is, that's another big difference between Game Amy and Sonic and Comic Amy. And I think that's why some fans prefer Sonic Amy game-wise more than anything, because this Amy in the comics is not the Amy they know. And I think that's why they're ticked off a lot. That's why they're ticked off. You know, that's why they're ticked off. And again, I have nothing wrong with it. You know, as far as Monkey Kong and the whole Iron Dominion situation, it's like I said before, and I'll say it again. It's a formula that was used in a lot of media before. Movies, cartoons, television shows, even other comic books, it's been used before. You have a big event storyline or a long-term storyline that's going to run for about a year or so, like Iron Dominion did. Maybe have a spin-off like it did with Journey to the East in Sonic Universe. And sooner or later, you need to develop something romantic-wise between one of the main characters and the outside character that's going to be brought in as one of the focal characters for the story only. And that is why Sally was paired with Monkey Kong at the end of 207, Evan, until the middle of 212. Because they needed to give her a love interest. They need to have some kind of romance between one of the main characters, which she is, and an outside character, which he was, to kind of get people, to kind of get, I guess you could say, more readership and more attention for the book. And even though, like I said, it lasted about 4.5 issues main comic-wise, and add in the 4 issues of The Journey to the East, basically 8.5 issues altogether, with those 4 issues of the Sonic Universe portion of it, with Journey to the East, and the 4.5 issues there, you know, it didn't last too long. And main comic-wise, it didn't even last but 4 months out of the whole year the Iron Dominion arc happened. That's about it. And as far as Sonic and Amy go, yeah, there was a tease that something might happen at the end of 207. And Ian Flynn wanted to do this. This was all Ian Flynn's idea, I do agree. But you see, Ian Flynn couldn't do Sonic Amy as much as he wanted to, which was going to build up to Sonic Sally in 222, which it did, because of the restrictions Sega puts on Sonic and Amy. That's the whole point. It's like I said, Sega doesn't have that many restrictions when it comes to Sonic and Sally. The only restriction they have is it can only be temporary, if maybe for 24 months, 25 months at the earliest, if not 50 months at the most. You know, issue-wise. And that is why also, when Ken Penders had Sonic go with Fiona, his plan was to have him date characters like Fiona, like Mina, and so on, and so on, but find no spark between them, and then eventually get back with Sally, thus why you had the wedding situation go on the way it did. You know, because he's realizing he still has feelings for her. He still wants to be with her, and vice versa. That is why when Ian Flynn took over, he started hinting at them getting back together. Yeah, he threw that curveball with Monkey Kong on as a side thing, but again, it was only for the story because you needed the outside focused character to have something going with one of the main characters. And then after that, he slowly built from, you know, basically 213 to 222, the relationship back to what it was. And yeah, it became a standstill. It came to a stop because of what happened after 225 and 230 and all that. So, you know, is it still going to happen in the new continuity, in the soft reboot, in the soft retcon? We can only wait and wonder. But the thing is, as far as these two topics goes, these are just my opinions and my answers to these individuals. You know, so again, just thought I'd throw that out, throw these opinions and answers out to these guys, and if they want to respond here on YouTube, video or comment-wise, or they want to respond comment-wise over there at the places where I'll provide the links at, where I'll provide, over at the DeviantArt, what is that? Well, I'll provide the links down below. Go ahead, let me know what you guys think. But these are just responses, so let me know down below, comment what you guys think. Do you agree with what these guys said in these journal entries, if you will? And what do you think of my opinions on it? Let me know down below, and let me know what you guys are. Until then, God bless. Take care.